It all leads to this moment. It started with stepping out and discovering what you're capable of. Planning your future while learning, serving, and getting a real collegiate experience. Because the place you start can change everything. Itawamba Community College. You belong here.
Guys, you're not going to believe the luck I've had lately. Just the other day, I had a flat tire, thought I was in big trouble. Before I know it, somebody pulled over, fixed the tire.
Oh, that's not luck, Kirk. It's because
That's not the only thing. How about when I'm in a studio, drop the cell phone, bang, shatters completely. Guy hands me a brand new cell phone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's because you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Yeah, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, coupon straight to your phone.
And another discount with Renaissance Rewards Extra, Mr. Herbstreit.
Life's just easier when you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the ICC Hour here on Super Talk Mississippi, 101.9 FM. As always, the ICC Hour is being presented to you by our friends over at Renaissance Bank. You can find out what's next by visiting renaissancebank.com. So we're going to find out what's next here at Itawamba Community College, and it's always one of the big, most fun events and unique events of the year. It's our dinner theater program, and I want to welcome Miss Laurie McBride into the show. And Laurie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us, Murder on the Orient Express. So tell us about the show and what some people can expect for it.
Okay. Well, it was commissioned actually by the grandson of Agatha Christie. He asked Ken Ludwig, who is a celebrated playwright, if he would adapt his grandmother's play, novel. Mm-hmm. And so it's one of her most famous, Murder on the Orient Express. It's been a challenge for me as a director to figure out how to bring a train to a found space, because we're doing it in the Connection Center conference area near our new Chick-fil-A. And so I've had to figure out how to create a dining car, mm-hmm. a sleeper car with 3 bedrooms, a corridor, a radio room, and an observation deck.
Oh, wow.
On borrowed stages mm-hmm. from our music fine arts department. Mm-hmm. So Buildings and Grounds, I want to shout out to them. They have done a fantastic job. And I'm just really excited about the way the set looks, and they brought some lights in it for us, and so they've done a great job.
I'll back you up on that. We are blessed to have some great individuals that work on that building and grounds crew that, a lot of people, the work they do, a lot of people see, but they don't necessarily appreciate, the hard work that goes into it. So I know they greatly appreciate that shout out.
Oh, if I send them a picture, one year I asked them to make a cave mm-hmm. and they made a cave. I just sent them a picture, and so they have made an electric chair one year. So whatever I needed for my plays, I just send them a picture and they make it happen.
So the show is tonight here in Fulton at the ICC Connection Center. There'll also be a show Thursday night, but it is dinner theater. So me being a foodie, or kind of, I say a foodie, but some of my friends say you're fat, you're not a foodie. But what's on the menu?
There is roasted chicken breast mm-hmm. and Parmesan crusted potatoes, southern green beans, salad, a roll, raspberry cheesecake,
ooh.
Water, tea, and coffee.
Yes.
You get all that
mm-hmm.
plus the show for $30. And in today's economy, that is a steal.
Most definitely. And it's a great way to say if you have you're a couple out there, you're looking for a unique date night,
yes.
or something like that. Just not a movie, not going here, not going there.
Right.
And plus, it gets a chance to support all these great students we have here at ICC. So you can get tickets to the event. That's going to be at iccms.edu/events. That's iccms.edu/events. It's for tonight and Thursday night. Again, $30, but you get an outstanding meal, an even better performance, and it's going to be a fun night for you, a very unique night here with the dinner theater in Fulton. It's at the ICC Connection Center. Now, the event is sponsored by North Mississippi Health Services and other sponsors. Talk about those sponsors and the role they play.
Yes, North Mississippi Health Services is our corporate sponsor, and we've also gotten assistance from First Foundation, LEAD, Jesco Incorporated, and Guarantee Bank. And this is the first year we've actually had that happen, but in order to bring lights and extra pipe and drape, and this show has been a little pricier than some of the other ones we've produced because we had to look for clothing that looked like it was from the 1930s. Rich clothing, and the train is supposed to be the Orient Express. It's supposed to be lavish, so we didn't want to look dumpy. We wanted to look nice.
Yes.
And we're also offering a unique feature. We're having a Foley table on the side. So, like, we've got this scary scene at the beginning, and we're going to have footsteps created live for you.
Okay.
And we're also going to have stabbing lettuce during the stabbing scene. And so kind of like an old radio show.
Yeah.
So we're trying to bring those sound effects to life. So that'll be a little extra feature on the side that we'll be creating that I thought would be fun. I had done that once, and that's named after Jack Foley, who was a sound artist, and they still use Foley sounds today to enhance commercials and movies. So that'll be part of the spice for the show that you'll enjoy watching.
Yeah, most definitely. As we talk about one of the great, unique things we have here, Dinner Theater here at ICC, March 24th, which is tonight, and March 26th on Thursday. Doors open at 5:30. Dinner starts at 6. Performance will follow the meal.
Right.
So you'll have a chance to enjoy your meal and don't feel like you have to rush through it to get to the performance. It is at the ICC Connection Center. A lot of people say, well, where's that? The Chick-fil-A building is what
exactly.
is what we can call it. Tickets are available at iccms.edu/events. Again, that's iccms.edu/events. Now, I want to talk about the Dinner Theater as a whole. I was reading over the article that Tyler Kemp wrote about it. It's a very unique opportunity for students because a lot of people think, well, it's just kids performing. But you're giving kids the opportunity to be in front of the curtain, behind the curtain, promotionals, and things like that. So it is really a hands-on, full experience. So if you're shy, don't want to be in front of the audience, but got a passion for makeup or costume or lighting, it gives them a chance to find that passion and kind of build on it and grow from it.
Right. Like I have several that are helping with props, and they helped me stain the set. And like last year or the year before, we had a play that had fake food. And so I had a girl, we would meet every Friday and we would make fake cookies and fake pies. And so those are backstage things that we use. We also have a sound and a light person, and they're trained to hit those buttons and make that happen. And so those people are valuable.
Very, very.
So, yes.
And that's a good thing, because whenever, and I always say this, whenever we have students here at ICC, they might be unsure of what they want to go into. And whenever we have kids that work with us, say in sports information or community relations, I say get the full experience, because you never know. You may think you like this, but then all of a sudden you do something else and you fall in love with it.
Right.
And I think that's a great opportunity the Dinner Theater presents to kids as well.
We have about half of our cast and crew have never been in a play before. We have 2 actually who are duly enrolled. They're high school students at Smithville High School, and they don't have a drama program. So I feel like that's really important that we're offering theater to schools that may not be able to have that, and so they can come and be in that because they're taking a class here at ICC.
Absolutely. Now, you do also have another unique aspect of this. It's a mother-daughter combination that is part of the play. Can you kind of talk a little bit more on that?
Right. The mother, I had her and her daughter at the same time in public speaking, and they did a great job. And she said, well, am I too old to try out for a play? I said, well, not at all. You can try out for the play. And she's been fantastic. Actually, the role that she took called for a man, and I never have enough men, so we just converted it to Madame Book instead of Monsieur Book. And she's doing a super, super job with that part.
That's awesome. And I know it's got to be a special experience for her to share that with her daughter at the same time.
She said that she had never been in a play. She almost was in a play, and they canceled it at her school when she was in high school, and she said, this is a dream come true.
That's awesome. And another opportunity that ICC presents you when you come here, no matter the age, whether you be fresh out of high school, maybe getting a fresh start in life as well. So ICC, we're here to provide those opportunities as well. So let's go over it one more time, make sure I'm correct here. So it's going to be the Dinner Theater tonight, March 24th, also Thursday, March 26th, Murder on the Orient Express. And it's at the ICC Connection Center. Doors open at 5:30. Dinner starts at 6. The performance will follow, And you can get tickets at iccms.edu/events. Again, that's iccms.edu/events. Is there any opportunity for, say, somebody shows up, tickets at the door or anything? Or need to get those in advance?
I would say especially tonight. Thursday is filling up.
I got
but
you.
Tonight there may be more openings.
Okay, good deal. So if you're thinking about getting tickets, you better get them now because they're going to be gone in a hurry. Ms. Lori, I appreciate your time today. Is there anything else you'd like to add, maybe about the show or maybe about the dinner theater program?
No, I'm just grateful, excited about it. Like I said, this is my first time to ever do a show on a train.
Yes,
so
yes.
This has been unique for me. So I've learned a lot about set design through this show, and I'm just so grateful for the sponsors that have allowed us to do it, because it has been more expensive doing it at a found space and trying to make it look really nice. Some of the characters have on furs and, we've tried to hit the thrift stores,
there you go.
But they're nice looking outfits.
Nice. I tell you what, since the sponsors were so good to you, one more time, tell everybody who are sponsoring the show.
Our corporate sponsor is North Mississippi Health Services, and also some other sponsors that helped us: First Foundation, Lead, Jesco Incorporated, and Guarantee Bank. And we thank you so much, because you helped build our sets, you helped defray the meal cost, and you helped with the costumes. And you've made it happen so that students who are in high school even that don't have theater, they're able to experience this.
Absolutely. And also helping building special memories that they'll be able to carry on with them for a while after ICC as well. Again, that's Dinner Theater, Murder on the Orient Express, tonight and Thursday night. Get your tickets at iccms.edu/events, iccms.edu/events. You heard Lori say it, they're filling up quick, so you better hurry up and get those as well. We'll be back with more of the ICC Hour right after this.
You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next? What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
what's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
I wish we could get a stuffed crust pizza at a great price.
Get Little Caesar's new large stuffed crunch crust for $9.49.
Look at that delicious crust.
Talk about more bang for your buck.
What did you say? Deal Deer hates two things: bad pizza deals and deer puns.
He's fine. And $9.49 new large stuffed crunch crust is the lowest price in stuffed crust. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza.
Coach Lott, Coach Owens, and guys, thanks for joining us today.
Yep, happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having us.
All right, well, Coach Lott, you're the new guy on the block, so let's start with you. We'll just throw you right to the fire. Just sort of tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and just a little bit of a background.
All right, yeah. I'm from Meridian, Mississippi originally, Clarkdale High School. Married my high school sweetheart, got two beautiful kids. I guess that's a little bit about me. Little background, I've spent a lot of time in our league. The last 6 years being at Pearl River, and then happy to move up here this summer and get rocking and rolling with the Tribe.
So this is your first head coaching job. What's one of the biggest things you've learned so far, I guess say midway through the season as a head coach, just on your side of things?
I think I forgot most of what I thought I knew. That's what I've learned. No, it's been fun. It's been a new challenge. It's been, it's just, as always, it's about people more than it is about the game, and just trying to love on our people and keep them motivated.
And we also got Coach Carson Owens with us, softball head coach, number 11 Indians in the country. Coach, just got to give everybody a little bit of a background about yourself as well.
Yeah, I'm an implant to Fulton, Mississippi. I'm originally from North Alabama, so got the opportunity to come over here and have absolutely loved it. Previously, I served as a player development coordinator at UAB. Before that, head coach at Wallace State in Hanceville. It's a 2-year school in Alabama. Before that, worked at Southern Utah University, the University of Alabama, and then I actually started again at Wallace State Hanceville. So very fortunate to be over here, to be a part of the Tribe, and love it every day.
Well, earlier this season, you got your 100th win as a head coach. Pretty impressive with only, 3 seasons as a head coach?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, it's not as much about me. I've been very fortunate to be surrounded by some really good people. I've coached some great players. I have a great assistant coach in Coach Monson. So it's not as much about me as it is about everybody else that you surround yourself with. But that's a testament to everybody that I've coached and how they play, and we play really hard. So just very fortunate to get that here. It's been such a phenomenal season so far, and to start it off kind of at the beginning in the preseason with that, it was awesome.
Well, let's just go ahead and stay with you real quick since you mentioned it. How is the season going so far, and just your thoughts, I guess you could say, midway through the season?
Yeah, we're off to a really good start. I think we're 23-5. 5-1 in conference, so off to a really good start. We're going to continue to hopefully keep that rolling. Ranked number 11th in the country, which is a really big deal to our program. The previous coaches here, they established a foundation. Coach Kirk, Coach Ernest, even previous before them. So to get us back on the national stage and on the spotlight, it's awesome. But it's, again, a testament to our kids. I think they come and they work every single day. Like, we have a really good pitching staff. We hit it pretty good. We play defense. We do it all, and it's a testament to really them. And really ICC athletics as a whole. Basketball just finished second in the conference, was ranked in the top 25. Women's basketball is ranked in the top 25. Football is ranked in the top 25. Tennis is ranked in the top 25. Baseball hits the cover off of it. They just beat the number 19 team in the country. So, we want to be like everybody else around here. That's the standard around here, is to win. And so what an exciting time to be a part of ICC athletics.
Absolutely. And Coach Lott, it's kind of the same question to you. Your team right now, you played a very tough preseason, or not preseason, I say pre-conference part of the year. But just talk about where you feel like your team is right now and how things are going.
Yeah, we're 14-9 right now, and entering into our second week of conference play, and feeling good. And I think coming in last week, riding a 7-game win streak. So we're getting confident. We're developing as we go, and excited for what's to come. We can swing the bats really well. I think we're figuring some things out on the mound and getting a lot more polish there, and also defensively. We've dealt with some of the battles that I think everybody else has this year, especially with the winter storm, early. And we had some injuries kind of coming on the heels of that, which seems to be pretty common in our league right now. But I'm excited about where we're at, excited about where we're heading, and kind of like Coach O said, we're just this is the place to be.
Well, Coach, we'll stay with you on that point. The other night, we had quite the marathon against Meridian, the number 19 team in the country, almost 60 runs combined in that game. But that seems to be the league this year. I know East Central, I think at one point, was averaging 13.5 runs a game. So just talk about just the status of the league, because, everybody hears, on football, and it's the same thing with softball. Everybody hears, well, football is king, it's a little SEC. It's that way in every sport here from top to bottom. And this year, it just seems like you're going to have to hit the ball if you're going to be successful.
Yeah, you better be able to score for sure. I think kind of interesting note is we knew that we were swinging the bats really good. We started looking at our stats and see where we ranked nationally, and I think we were top 5 in batting average in the country. We were number 4 in the country in home runs at one point. We were up there in runs scored. But then you look at the MAC website and you check where we are in the conference, and you're about the same. So it's very much an offensive league and always has been. But there seems to be a lot of parity, and I think we're really right there in the mix. I think whenever you look across the board at some of the statistical categories and runs scored, I like where we stand. And so, again, just trying to get our guys a ton of confidence with that.
You talk about the parity of your league. That's kind of the same way with you, Coach Carson. It seems like, year in, year out, it was 4 to 5 teams in softball that you knew were going to be good. But now you look at it, we hit Delta is a team that normally, you look at the schedule, say, okay, check off 2 wins. Yes, we did beat them with twice, but much different Delta team. And that's a team that's usually in the lower third of the conference, right up there competing with you guys. So it's a much different, much more competitive conference.
Yeah, very, very competitive from top to bottom, from literally team 1 to team 15, I think the last rankings came out. I think we had like 6 or 7 teams just from our conference in the rankings. And, our top 9 teams only make the conference tournament, make our regionals. So, you're going into regionals with 7 out of the 9 teams that are competing in there ranked in the top 25. And so it's a really competitive league, which is a lot of fun as a coach. Like, you go somewhere and you want to compete. You want to beat the best. Like, when you get to the end of the season, you want to know that you competed with the top dogs. And that's what we do every single single week. We play the best of the best, and it doesn't matter who you play. You better bring your A game, which is, again, a lot of fun as a coach. It's a lot of fun as a coach to coach that. It's a lot of fun as a player to play in that too, because you're going to play the best. You're going to be the best, and so it really is a lot of fun.
You talk about bringing your A game every week. That's asking a lot of kids today, because people think they know what a student athlete goes through, but yes, they go through class, yes, they go to practice, yes, they got the games, but you also got the mental aspect of it, the mental strength, the social side of things. They still want to be college athletes. And Coach Carson, we'll start with you on this. How do you, as a coach, find that even keel, if you will, to help those kids not just get burnt out?
Yeah, I think it really comes back to your culture. I think you've got to establish a strong culture at the beginning to make every single kid know that in your program that they're a lot more than just their performance. Like, they're loved as a human. We do this thing. We're actually doing it this week. It's called Affirmation Week in our program. We did it at Alabama when I worked there, and Coach Murphy kind of did it, and I've kind of taken and ran and put our own spin on it. But it's really just to let everybody in our program know that they're more than just an athlete. They have so many qualities that they bring. Obviously, everybody's got to bring their intangible to the team. You got to be able to hit, pitch, play, catch, all of those things. But what do you bring outside of that? What do you bring as a person to our team? What do you bring to make somebody's day better? That's where it starts, in my opinion. But you've also got to let every kid know that you love them. Like, we have a kid on our team, Ramsey Montgomery. If you look at her stats, like, she leads the NJCAA in strikeouts. She leads our conference in strikeouts. She's top 5 in every pitching stat. Well, what most people don't know is she's actually also in our OTA program. So the whole morning from 8:30 until like 2, she's in clinicals and in class and doing all those things. And that's at our Tupelo campus. And then she drives from our Tupelo campus to our Fulton campus and practices with us in the afternoon. And so you've got to have a really dedicated athlete to do that. And so when you see kids like that get the success that she is having, that's what fuels you. That's what really helps your team and your culture and everybody buy in, to know if this kid can go and work her tail off in clinicals and do all of these things and still come out here and dominate the way she's dominated, anybody can do it, right? And you don't want to let that person down. If she's working her tail off, you want to work equally as hard, so that way everybody's having success. You're not going to let anybody down. But that's really where it starts for me. It starts with your culture, and it starts with what you establish off the field as well as on it.
Yeah, you want that contagiousness,
Absolutely.
I guess you can say, on both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach Lott, same question to you. How do you keep your guys kind of focused, but at the same time still being able to be a college student and not necessarily just again, get burnt out on baseball?
Yeah, I think it's really important. We try to, push it hard every single day. So one of the things that we talk about all the time is just not accepting average. We don't want to accept average behavior, execution, body language, whatever it may be. Like, we want to enjoy being at the field. And so there's days where, we'll kind of keep it silly. I think our sports, probably ours more so than Coach Owens, there's a lot of downtime in our sport. There's a lot of downtime sometimes at practice. And so we'll do some things from time to time just to kind of keep it light and keep it fun and just compete a little bit, whether it's a little spelling bee pregame, or if it's a flex off. They want to do the flex off pretty bad. But we just try to do some stuff like that just to kind of keep it fun. I believe the two things you have to combat in our sport is boredom and frustration. And it's a tough game. You go 3 for 10, you end up in the Hall of Fame, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a game of failure, people say, but that's the things that I think we have to fight is boredom and frustration. And so if I can create a practice plan that keeps us from getting bored, I feel like I'm doing part of my job. So, but it's just kind of like he said too, like, we want to highlight, what these guys do off the field more so than on it. I think you win off the field before you win on the field, and I think you win with people more than you do players. So making sure we got the right people in here and just kind of keeping them in the right headspace.
It all leads to this moment. It started with stepping out and discovering what you're capable of. Planning your future while learning, serving, and getting a real collegiate experience. Because the place you start can change everything. Itawamba Community College. You belong here.
Are you in the market for a new or used vehicle? Look no further than Metro Ford. We have an incredible selection of F-150s, Explorers, Broncos, and so much more. Whether you're looking for a rugged truck for the job site or a family-friendly SUV, our expert team is here to help you find the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle and budget. And with our streamlined financing process, getting behind the wheel of your dream car has never been easier. Stop by today and experience the Metro Ford difference. We're conveniently located at 1000 Barnes Crossing Road in Tupelo. Online at MetroFordAutoSales.com. That's MetroFordAutoSales.com.
Guys, you're not going to believe the luck I've had lately. Just the other day, I had a flat tire, thought I was in big trouble. Before I know it, somebody pulled over, fixed the tire.
Oh, that's not luck, Kirk. It's because
That's not the only thing. How about when I'm in a studio, drop the cell phone, bang, shatters completely. Guy hands me a brand new cell phone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's because you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Yeah, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, coupon straight to your phone.
And another discount with Renaissance Rewards Extra, Mr. Herbstreit.
Life's just easier when you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
We're talking with Coach Carson Owens and Coach Slater Lott. Softball, baseball teams here getting caught up. So kind of, and Coach Lott, we'll start with you. Kind of just focus on, I guess you could say, from here out. You know, you've established yourself. You kind of got a good feel for your lineup now, your pitchers. You know, what is it now to take that next step as a team?
Just consistency. You know, I think we've played really good in some spurts, kind of highlighted by a 7-game win streak, you know, a week and a half ago, whatever it was. And if we can just kind of keep that going, you know, we started 3-1 in conference and played a really tough opponent, Meridian, that has a really potent offense themselves, and was able to come away with a split there. So starting 3-1 is a big deal. Just kind of putting the right foot forward to compete in this gauntlet of a league. So, we can really swing the bats. I think we got some versatility there on the offensive side. We got to nail down some things in the bullpen and kind of shore up some things there. But I'm excited about our trajectory. I'm excited about where we're heading, and I think our guys are ready to compete. They're looking forward to the challenge that is our league.
So what's your mentality, I guess you can say, as a coach when it comes to figuring out the bullpen? You know, it's one of those situations where a lot of people are just like, well, you know, just throw somebody out there. Let's throw some strikes. You can't just go out there and throw strikes, man. It's just so difficult. And, you know, I know as a fan, as a commentator myself, it gets frustrating sometimes where you're just like, throw a dang strike, you know. But just talk about, I guess you can say, how you, the assistant coaches, go about just trying to get the best out of your guys when it comes to, your starter. Okay, we know he's pretty good for this. Got to bring in point B, point C, heck, sometimes EFG, you know, depending on how long the game is. But just kind of talk about that mentality.
I think mentality is the correct word. That's what we're looking for, is the killer mentality. Who wants the baseball? That's the guys that you want. And I know we were talking with Coach Owens, and he had Ramsey, who pitched, 17 innings with 100 strikeouts a week ago and wouldn't give the ball up. That's kind of what we're looking for, is just that person that, like, they want the ball. And mentality over mechanics, mentality over stuff, that's kind of where we're living right now, is we want guys to go out there that know that we're going to compete. Our entire dugout is behind them, and we talk about it being 9-on-1. You know, we want to use our defense. We want to be 9-on-1. I mean, you got Trey Gunn in the outfield, the play he made the other night.
Wow.
It's just throw it across the plate. We have a chance there. So it does start with strikes, but more than anything for us, it's mentality. We want some killers out there. We want some guys that are going to be on the attack.
It helps when they put up 23 runs, don't it?
It does.
23 runs in a game.
Yeah, that's a big help too. So, but Coach, let's talk about Coach Carson. Let's talk about softball. You know, coming down the stretch of conference play. Just what's your next step, or what's your focus on taking that next step?
Yeah, very similar to what Coach Lott said. We want to compete. We talk about it a lot in our program. Very similar to him. Like we're going to compete in everything that we do. We've got to. I think we're really good pitching wise. I think our pitching staff kind of highlights our team. I think we lead our conference in ERA. We're top 3 in the country in ERA and staff ERA too. You know, have 6 different pitchers, and all 3 or all 6 throw completely different. And so that's a really cool thing to have on a staff. Somebody that can do something different, again, for all 6 of them. We've got to continue to compete in the box a little bit. You know, I talked about this before we started, but I had Coach Lott in my office yesterday for about an hour and just being like, what do you do? Because how do we get better? Because, you know, again, when you put up 23 runs on the number 19 team in the country, you're doing something right. So we got to compete a little bit better in the box, which we will. I think that comes the more games we play, the more arms we see, the more pitches we see, the better we'll be. So I think we'll get there. But continuing to learn to compete in the box and just continue to get comfortable. We're about halfway through our season now, and so we've got to start really finalizing our comfortability and knowing that we're good and we're set where we need to be. We know where we need to be in all positions. We know where we need to go for backup, so on and so forth. And in every situation, knowing where we've got to be. If we can continue to grow in those areas, I think we have a really good shot to make a good run, which is exactly what we want to do. We talk all the time in our program about we want to come to Itawamba and we want to make a difference. Like, what do we want to do? How do we want to do it? And it starts by winning every game. Like, that's our goal. We want to come out and we want to take it game by game and we want to win every game. And we're going to compete, and we're going to compete for 7 innings, 12 innings, however many we play. We played 12 innings against Gulf Coast to really open up the conference season. So however many that takes, as long as at the end of the day our number on the scoreboard is bigger than theirs, that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're going to fight to do.
So you talk about getting comfortable in the box, that mentality. What are some of the things that you work on to help the girls find that comfort, but also confidence?
Yeah, we're going to put them in a lot of different situations. Like in practice, whenever we hit, like, we're going to do a lot of situational stuff to make them be in every situation possible. So that way, whenever they do get in the box and they're in a different situation, there is some comfortability and knowing that we have practiced this, we've done this, we've repped this, so on and so forth. I think another positive for us that we get more so, maybe more than Coach Lott and them do, is our fall season. We get close to 16 games in the fall, and we take advantage of it. Like, we play a really tough fall schedule. We've played the University of Alabama, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, UNA, Southern Miss, you name them, we've probably played them. And I think comfortability happens and starts back in the fall. Being put in those situations against those type of caliber opponents, whoever we face this spring, at the end of the day, they're not Alabama in Rhodes Stadium. Like, that's a really big deal. And to have those moments, especially in the fall, to really draw from and grow from, I think that's a really big deal to our kids, whether they realize that in the moment or not. Being able to know, like, we led Alabama to through 4 innings. We led them 2-0, and they just beat a top 10 opponent in Arkansas this past weekend. So to know that that's the caliber and that's the standard that we can play at, whether that we played that last October or not, we can still draw from that experience whenever we go play, Northwest Mississippi or Northeast or anybody like that. Like, we know the caliber that we can play and what we can accomplish if we continue to do that. So just making sure that they can draw from multiple experiences and know that they've been in those situations before and they can succeed in them.
Well, let's kind of shift gears, if you guys don't mind. And I know we've been talking about the season. Of course, we're talking with Coach Owens, softball coach here at ICC, Coach Lott, the baseball coach here. So let's just talk about I don't want to say where the world of sports is right now, but the world's changing a lot. There's a lot of distractions around the games and things like that. But let's just kind of talk about the game in general. It's still, pretty simple. Hit the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball. How do you guys as coaches kind of keep that mentality for the kids to go be able to have that confidence? We kind of just talked about the confidence at the plate, but how do you guys, build their confidence away from the game? Success in the classroom typically results in success on the field. How do you guys go about, I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this, but how do you guys go about just boosting that confidence of the kid away from the game?
We have a lot of fun in our program. Like, seriously, we talk about, like, a lot of fun. Like, we do water balloon fights when it's warm outside. We do scavenger hunts. Like, we always try to find something and find some edge that's different. So not only are they focusing on softball, but they're also being able to do stuff outside of that. But we also talk about the classroom. You mentioned that, like, our kids are required to sit in the front 2 rows. If they miss a class, they owe me a foul pole for every minute that they miss. So, like, we're very intentional of making sure that we're getting every aspect that we need to when we come to college. We're coming here to win softball games, yes. We're also coming here to get a degree. One of the coolest things about our program and that we really emphasize is that every kid that graduates or that comes to Itawamba and stays here for 2 years will graduate with a 2-year degree. And why that's important is because a lot of the kids, especially that come to us, and I'm sure Coach Lott too, they may want to go into some type of program, academic program, anything like that. And so they've got to apply to be in that program. Well, you kind of have a leg up on somebody else if you're applying for that program and you have a 2-year degree, especially from our institution. Our academics here mean a lot, and the things that we do here mean a lot. So just really harping on that and making sure that they get the full experience, not only athletically, but academically too. And they're growing in every single area as a better person, as a better player, and as a better student as well. If we can do those things, Dr. Allen talks about it all the time. If we can do those things consistently, we're going to win. We're going to win championships. We're also going to make better people and impact the community in ways that we need to.
Coach Lott?
Yeah, I think very similar to Coach Owens. One of the things that we talk about, we have a mission statement in our program, and it states that we want to be a character and leadership development program that trains people, students, and players to behave like champions. And so for us, I do believe you went off the field before you went on it, and that's one of the reasons we're very intentional with what we do off the field and how we treat our players as people. And that's kind of how we look at them. It's always going to be person over player, and really try hard not to personify the player and not treat someone when they go 0 for 4 like they're a bad kid, and so that's one of the things we have to tell our guys too is they got to treat themselves like they would talk to a teammate. A lot of our guys talk to a teammate great, and they treat themselves a little bit worse, and so that's one of the things we talk about. But I tell that to every single player we have, every single recruit that we bring in, they're here for baseball, and baseball is going to be a huge part of it. I'm a baseball coach, but if at the end of the day, if all we impact is baseball, I think we're kind of missing our duty here. And the scoreboard's great. It's one of the reasons I love being a coach, but really that locker room full of guys is what I cherish the most. And so the people over player for sure.
Coach Owens, you talked about the full experience, and that's one thing that Dr. Allen really wants our students, not just student athletes, but students to get, yes, classroom is a big part of it, student activity, student life, developing those friendships. That's one of my favorite things here at the college that I see is kids that don't know each other come together for 2 years. You look at them on social media 10, 15 years later, they're celebrating having kids together, kids having birthdays together. It's that true family aspect that we experience here at ICC. But you guys do a good job of this. And, Coach, I want to give you kudos. The other day at that Gulf Coast game, whenever Carson was playing, you had your guys out there. Well, they just weren't out there just hands in their pockets. They were out there having fun. Did the same thing at the Jones Region 23 championship game. They were out there. They were hyped up. Talk about the importance of supporting the other programs here.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to win championships. That's our goal too. And it's one of the things I made our guys do in the fall. Is whenever Robin and her girls were getting their championship rings, I wanted us to be there because that's the ultimate goal as a team. But I think one of the ultimate goals in life is just to enjoy where you're at, to be present. A lot of our guys want to move on and play at this next level, this big school, SEC program, whatever it may be. But truly, I don't think you're ever going to have success if you do move on, if you can't enjoy being here. And so for us, we want to be all in on being here, and we want to be all in Fulton. And if that means going over and supporting our other teams, that's what we want to do because we know the work they're putting in too. We see them early in the morning coming out of the weight room whenever we're going in. So that's a big deal to us, loving your people and being where you're at and supporting. That's it's more blessed to give than to receive. And so if we can go out and we can give others support, I think that's our role.
I want to kind of jump in. Coach Lott has done a phenomenal job of supporting every team on campus here. We try to do the same thing, especially at softball. Like we go to volleyball games, football games, baseball games, so on and so forth. But again, we kind of touched on this earlier. We played 12 innings against Gulf Coast in game 1, and Coach Lott and his team were there for literally a majority of it. And that's super special. Number one to me as a coach, but as a person too, to know that you have support on campus and know that everybody wants to see you win, because I mentioned this too. If one of us wins, we all win. Like he talked about Coach Porter and them winning going and getting their ring last year. That's a super special moment, not only for Coach Porter and women's basketball, for ICC as a whole. Like we win championships here. That's the goal here, and that's what everybody wants to accomplish. And if one of us does that, we all do that. And so you're going to see our team, you're going to see baseball, you're going to see a lot of the other sports teams go and support every team on campus. But you're also going to see a lot of coaches too go and support every team on campus. Like Coach Macon's been to our softball games, and he's they're fixing to start up spring training right now, and so that's super cool to be able to see him come and support us. But it's just a really cool environment. For people that don't know, all of our offices are kind of on one hallway, and so it's a really cool moment to walk into work every day and be able to work next to the people that are going through the same thing as you. They understand what you're going through. They understand the grind of season. They understand the off season. They understand all of these things, and you get to go to work and pull from their experiences too. I talked about how I had Coach Lott in my office for an hour yesterday. Well, I also go and bug him, every single day too. I'm right next to Coach McGregor, who's a volleyball coach. I talk to her every day. We have tennis, golf, men's soccer, women's soccer, all of them. Basketball's in the DC, which is 5 steps over, and then and football is obviously in theirs, in their facility too. But everybody here is a family. That's not a Q word. That's not just something that people say just to kind of talk about it. I think if you come and spend one day on campus with all of us, you will truly see that. And it's really special, not only for our students, but for our coaches too.
Yeah, and I'll back you guys up on that. We always have fun. I mean, win, lose, or draw at the end of the day, we want to win them all. But, at the end of the day, we all have a good time. We all love each other. And as you said, it is that family environment for sure.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
I wish we could get a stuffed crust pizza at a great price.
Get Little Caesar's new large stuffed crunch crust for $9.49.
Look at that delicious crust.
Talk about more bang for your buck.
What did you say? Deal Deer hates two things: bad pizza deals and deer puns.
He's fine. And $9.49 new large stuffed crunch crust is the lowest price in stuffed crust. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza.
We're talking with Coach Owens, softball coach, Coach Lott, baseball coach here on the ICC Hour. It's being presented to you by our friends over at Renaissance Bank. Remember, you can visit RenaissanceNation.com. If you remember the SEC shorts that you saw throughout football season, you go out and check out those videos at RenaissanceNation.com. Well, guys, let's kind of shift gears and talk about a little bit of recruiting now. I know that's something that's getting more and more just tough dogfight type things. I have people reach out to me all the time saying, well, my kid does this, my kid does that. And sometimes I have the heart to tell them, well, JUCO baseball, softball is a little bit bigger than you think it is, But what do y'all look for, or let's start with that. What do y'all look for as a base start of a player? I know stats, ability, and things like that, but say a kid can throw 85 as a left-hander, kind of got a bad attitude. You don't want that in your I don't say you don't want that in your program, but, it's one of those that is that poison worth taking on as a player? So as a base player, where do they start? What do you look for?
Yeah, it's always person first. I know I've said that a couple of times already, but we're going to lean on the person more so than the player. I think you win with people, not just players. So that's a big deal. Obviously, we're all trying to find the best player we can possibly find. That's one of the things that whenever I evaluated this place and this job and these facilities, all that kind of stuff, I think you want to put yourself in a place where you can answer two questions. Number one is, can we attract the best players in the country to come play here? And obviously that box was checked. And number two, are there realistic expectations to compete for championships? Well, not only do you need to get those good players in here, you better be able to coach them up really well. So that's a big deal. What's the person like? What's the coachability like? And we try to get into that on visits and throughout the process, but it really just comes down to relationships and people. But certainly, and I think Coach would attest to this, you're trying to find the best player you can possibly find that also checks those boxes. So the talent obviously is very, very important, but recruiting for anyone that's the lifeblood of the program. If like we talk about Coach Porter and compete for championships and what Coach Owens is doing over there and the girls he's got on the mound, and then you look at D-Will this year with basketball. It certainly takes those quality players and those talented individuals to make some of these things happen. So we are looking for the best players we can find, but there are other determining factors as well. What are his grades? What's his family like? How does he communicate? I can't tell you how many times we backed off of a kid because of communication. Very simple to me. Me and Coach Evans talk about it. My assistant coach, if the kid can't communicate, he probably can't play for us. If he can't talk to me, he ain't going to play for me. So that's a big deal too.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of echo everything Coach Lott said. I think he hit it pretty spot on. Specifically for softball, if you ever come to one of our games and you watch our dugout, we're a very high energy dugout. I'm a high energy coach. I coach high energy. We coach hard. Same with my assistant coach Monson. We coach very hard. We coach very high energy. So our dugout is kind of a replica of that. I think a team really resembles their leaders, and I think that our team is a very good example of that. So when we're on the recruiting aspect of it, if you're not a high energy kid and you're not a high energy, 100% type of kid, then you're probably not going to fit very good in our program and in our culture. And ultimately, that's the way it is at the end of the day. Very similar to kind of the reference you made to baseball. If you throw 85 as a lefty, but you got a bad attitude, do you really want them? It's kind of the same with softball. If you can throw or you can hit pretty decent, but you're not going to come in here and be a high energy kid and be bought into everything we want to do, then you're probably not the best fit for us, And I'm a big believer in fit too. Coach Lott kind of talked about it too, but you've got to fit in our program. You've got to fit in what we want to do. Obviously, you've got to play softball. You got to be able to have the ability to do that, but that's number one. But number two, can you play softball and have the ability to fit in what we want to do, especially in our culture? That's the biggest thing too. So we really look for high energy kids and kids that want to win ultimately. Like we talk about it all the time. You need kids that want to come here and you want to compete for championships, and that's what you want to do. If you have that vision as a kid or as a player, then you're going to be able to compete for us.
Social media today is a big thing. The app formerly known as Twitter, X now. You got Instagram. You got people that have a video camera that think they shoot highlights, put them out there. And, I know the main account gets tagged all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, look at me. I know as coaches, y'all probably do the same way. But how do y'all view social media, one, as a tool of recruiting, but two, as a tool of getting to know the kid? I look at it a lot of times and – I'm never going to monitor, but if I see some of our athletes put something out there that I'm like, hey, this really don't need to reflect our program, I'll let our coaches know. I don't obviously want to be that tattletale, but, it's one of those, like, I don't think kids really understand how social media reflects to them on coaches wanting to recruit them, because here's the thing, you're putting your livelihood on the shoulders of 18, 19, 20-year-olds that you got to depend on them to come in the clutch. Coach, what's just your views and your takes on that with social media?
Yeah, well, we talk all the time with our team about they're a walking billboard for our program, and not only just for our program, but for our institution as well. So, like, every time somebody sees them, whether that's on social media, out in public, whatever that looks like, they are a walking billboard. So, like, we talk all the time. If you're wearing ICC, our kids' shirts are tucked in. They're wearing stuff appropriate, just like how it needs to be worn, because, again, they're a representation of not only our program, but for our institution. And that goes on social media as well, on every aspect, TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. Our kids will behave accordingly because they are, again, a walking billboard for everything that we represent here. But from a recruiting standpoint, obviously we look at all those things whenever we go into recruit, but especially on the softball side, it has really blown up, especially on X. Like, I get tagged in so many tweets every single day, from highlights from previous games from the night before, for upcoming schedules, especially in the summer season and in the fall season whenever travel ball is really in effect. We get a lot of emails with pictures of their schedule telling us to come watch them play. And so I'm also very intentional about that. Like, I'm very intentional. I will look at every single video that I'm tagged in. Same with my assistant coach Monson, because we don't want to miss that. We don't want to miss that kid. If they're taking the time to tag us and let us know that they're interested in us, we also need to take the time and really evaluate kind of where they're at, and if they can play for us too. So I know it used to be emails were very big. Emails still are kind of big, but it's kind of transitioned more into actual videos and stuff on social media. So we've gotten kind of a firsthand look at a lot of kids via Twitter. That's what really was our first interaction with them, is they tagged us in one of their tweets or one of their videos to let us know they were interested, and then the relationship kind of went from there. So especially talking about X and recruiting, that is kind of the hub for now for softball for a lot of people.
Coach Lott?
Yeah, I think he's 100% correct. I think it's the hub for recruiting, and I wouldn't have an X account if it wasn't for my job and what we have to do here. But it used to be, and it still is, very much relationship-based. You better have some contacts out there with summer programs, high school programs, and you better have kind of your niche and people that know what you're looking for and what can play for you. But at the same time, there's so many players out there, so many videos out there, and so many X accounts out there that are promoting these players. And so I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that there's been a lot of good players I've found first there, and it's one of those things that just allows you to be in a lot of places at once, and I can get in the car tonight and I can go, but I can't go everywhere. And so there's a lot of information on there, a lot of players on there that we've been able to come across. So it's certainly a tool in recruiting and in player development and program development. And that's one of the things I wanted to highlight on you too. Your crew and everything you do here is one of the first things I look at this summer was what does these accounts look like for the baseball program, for the athletics. And I can't tell you how much that affects recruiting as well. Just having quality images out there, good lighting, good editing, and just clear graphics and constant posting. And that's a credit to you and your team, and you guys seeing that vision too. And you're in here asking us about recruiting, and I'm sitting here telling you that y'all impact our recruiting for sure.
I greatly appreciate that. Like you guys know, you're only as good as the people you work with, and I'm blessed to work with some of the best here as well. Guys, I know I've kept you a lot longer than I anticipated today, and I appreciate you coming in on the show. So real quick, before I cut you loose, and I'll let you each have as much time as you want here, but let's talk to the fans. Or actually, I do have one more question before I do that about recruiting. It is statewide now. That presents a lot of challenges, but you both have a good focus on what used to be our traditional 5-county district. We no longer have that district, but we're really blessed to have some talented baseball, softball players in this part of the world. How important is it to you to still maintain those roots?
I think it's super important. We actually have 2 kids on our team right now from IAHS, and not only just from them as a perspective, but like the impact that they have had on our team from an outside perspective has been phenomenal, making them like get involved with a lot of the kids here locally too, not just on campus, but off campus as well. Being able to really intertwine like the kids that come from Alabama or Tennessee or Louisiana or kids that come from South Mississippi up here, to intertwine all of them with how Fulton does it, and actual Fulton people that live here, go here, not only just students on campus, but off campus as well. I think it's been super important. So we're very intentional about it. I think it's really good. And it helps that, we have really good softball right down the road, and all around, that can really help continue to establish our program and take us to where we need to be.
Yeah, I think absolutely. It's you have kids that grow up locally. This place is probably going to mean a little bit more to them. And while it does create great opportunities for those further away from home, anytime that you can have someone put on the uniform and it means a little bit extra to them, that's super important to us. But I'm also thankful that the state is open, and we are in such a good location for out-of-state players, and that our facilities are so good, our administration is so good that we can go out and we can attract those that are far from here. But it certainly does make an impact on your team beyond just the field whenever you're able to get someone in here that loves this place and loves the uniform and has grown up wanting to be here. I think about kids coming to kids camp in the summer that, you got a good chance of coaching those kids in the next decade. That's a really big deal. Whenever it's going to mean a little bit extra to them, it's a really big deal.
Yeah, when you have those kids come in, it really makes you feel old in a hurry, Coach, because I remember Fisher Short.
Yep.
Man, like whenever I saw her during media day, I looked at her, and I was like, Fisher, what are you doing here? She's like, I play here now. And I'm like, no, you should still be that little kid running around with Squirrel, just, chasing softball, foul ball, stuff like that. So it'll happen in a hurry, I'll tell you that. So,
and one more thing, just kind of an example to give. Like, we have 2 kids from South Alabama, and so they live about 6 hours away from here. And one of them, actually both of them, but one of them in particular is actually going to spend her summer in Fulton because she's made so many friends from around here that she's going to stay here, hang out and come a lot, especially during the summer. And that's really special as a coach. Coach Lott talks about it. I think it's really good that the state is open, and we've increased our out-of-staters as well, so we can draw more talent to Fulton. But it's also really cool for them to come to Fulton and love it and buy into this place and buy into these people around here. So, and that's an impact to all of our local kids on our team. We don't get that feel and that atmosphere without recruiting local talent in our district.
Yeah, and I talk about Fisher. I think this might be my first year to not have Stone Collier anywhere around campus. I've known him, Lord, since he's been 3. Well, coaches, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know busy time of year for you guys. A great start to the season. Look forward to a strong finish to the season, strong push to postseason play. Before I let you go, though, I do want to give you the opportunity to reach out to the fans, the listeners right now. Tell them why they should come support ICC softball, ICC baseball. Again, I do want to remind everybody, visit letsgoicc.com. That's letsgoicc.com. You can find the schedules, stats, stories, videos, all sorts of stuff there. Also, be sure and follow us on your favorite social media platform at Let's Go ICC in case we have some changes come up on those schedules. Of course, as always, one of those things I say in this time of year, weather pending is probably the 2 biggest words that we use. But Coach Owens, I'll let you go first. Kind of just reach out to the community why they should come support you guys.
Yeah, I think we have a really special group, and I know a lot of people say that, but we really do. I think this is one of the fullest teams, well-rounded teams that I've ever coached, and I think we have a chance to do something really special. Again, we're 23-5 right now, 5-1 in conference. We have a really good pitching staff. We're very exciting, especially offensively. We run the bases really hard. We play an exciting brand of softball, and our dugout is pretty fiery. Myself and Coach Monson are pretty fiery, and we want to win. These kids work really hard, and I think if you come out and you support us and you come and show up in the stands, I think you would get everything that you want to get out of the game. You know, we play hard, we fight hard, we love hard, and I think we're a really good team to root for, and I think that these kids deserve it too. So if you get a chance, come out and watch us play. I think with the best softball that we've got to play is still in front of us, so I hope you get to come out and you get to watch us play a really good style of softball, and hopefully we get to make a run at it in the end. So.
Coach Lott?
Yeah, I think the same thing. We need the support. We want to see the stands packed, and your fans. Whenever you're into the game, and whenever you're cheering, and whenever you're in there with us, and it feels like you're in the box with us, kind of like the 12th man with Texas A&M. It impacts the game. It impacts the outcome of the game, and so we love playing in front of crowds. I think it's what you do. It's one of the reasons you want to play in college is you want to get in front of those crowds. You want those big moments, and so we would love the support. We'd love to see it packed. I know we got a lot of people that get down the lines. I encourage everyone that goes down the lines to get a little bit closer to the action. Come in there next to our dugout, feel that energy. We got one of the best offenses in the country. We're a lot of fun to watch. We're top 3 in the country in home runs. It's going to be an exciting day at the ballpark for us, and it's been some high scoring games, and so there's really no downtime. So we want to pack this place out and make Roy Crescent Field the best environment in the country.
Once again, that's letsgoicc.com. You can find the schedules for those, and we do encourage you to come out. It's always a good time. It's always a fun time as well. Well, coaches, appreciate your time today. Anything else you'd like to add before I cut you loose?
No, absolutely not. Thank you. I appreciate it. Excited to be here. Roll Tribe.
Yeah, I echo that. Roll Tribe. This place is awesome. I'm so happy to be here.
We'll be back next Tuesday with the ICC Hour here on Super Talk Mississippi 101.9 FM.